pen, you take your paper, and you write down the ideas already, because we will put everything together in your teams. We will then divide you in breaking rooms. You will work among your team members, and you will create the pitch already today. And at the end of our lesson, we will have time to see 2 or 3 pitch tests already. Now, to make sure we are all on the same page, let's say you are here to get the best pitch for the investment. You want to know the structure. You want to know how to prepare. And ideally, you would like to test it. If this is correct, please use the down below section and give me a thumb up so I can see we are all on the same page and we are in the right room. So give me a thumbs up in the sections bar if this is correct. Good. Thank you. Now, also, we need to know you have 3 minutes for your pitch and 3 minutes for a Q&A session, and we are talking about 5K euros. So let's dive into our work. Of course, you would like to know who is this person speaking to you today, and in a few words, I will explain who am I and why am I teaching about pitching. My name is Katrīna Cīrule, and I am a public speaking coach. I have an experience of 20 years. I've spent on the professional music scene 20 years of my life.
Jsem se chtěl zeptat, jestli ty nebo ještě...
So I would highly appreciate if you would mute your microphones, and we will have our time to present later. And I've also spent a lot of years training and doing pedagogy and doing marketing and advertising, but we are not here to talk about me, right? We are here today to make your pitch perfect. And this is the part where I want you to write down in a chat box your opinion. Let's say this is you. You're in a red suit. You have something to say. You have your idea pitch in your head. You have your ideal product or service. You have it. You're trying to communicate it with a RuPor or a microphone. This red guy is you. And then, oh, something went wrong. And then you have your listener. Let's say he's an investor or he's a potential cooperation partner, but he has a huge question mark right above his head, and he doesn't understand. What would you say represents or symbolizes this wall? What could be the symbolism of this wall in between you guys? I want to see some answers in the chat box. What do you think? What is in between your fantastic business idea and the listener? What could be the problem? Take your time. I know it usually takes time to write down something. I want to see some answers in the chat box, please. And then we will move forward with some answers as well. Okay, so you are this red person. You have something to say. You have your idea. And then there's the investor, but he has a question mark. He didn't quite catch you. What is the symbol of the wall? Now, different languages. Yes, a different point of view. What else? Give me some. Show me some ideas. Let's put it out there. Use the chat box, write it down. What else could be in between? What's this communication barrier? How do you think? Different values. Therefore, the person doesn't understand the problem. Yes. Different motivation. Yes, what else? Please. Hello, guys. Hello, those who came just now. Also, not getting the importance. Presentation skills. Yes, you guys are all correct. All correct. That's right. Let's say you had your pitch some time ago, but it didn't work out. You didn't get the funding. You didn't get the result. The investor said No way. I'm not giving you anything. Why? Why didn't it work? All your answers were correct. I will give also my opinion. The reason why pitches don't work is because we are so self-centered. We are focusing on us. What will he think about me? Do I have a perfect hair day or not? Should I wear these shoes or these shoes? Um, are they thinking about my language, my accent? You see, very self-centered thoughts. And if we are too centered on ourselves, we forget the most important thing, that the content is the king. You are just someone who speaks about the idea. The idea is actually the main focus. You should be centered on. The second reason why the communication doesn't work is because we are spraying and praying. Let's say the spray and pray technique. What is it? It means we have prepared a universal pitch that works for everybody. Everybody understands it. My product is for everybody. My service is for everybody. But you know this is not true. That's why it didn't quite catch anybody's attention. Please mute your microphones. Thank you very much. Too many details is also a mistake. Of course, you want them to know everything. Of course, because your idea is wonderful and he should be informed about this, about the sizes, about the variations, about the way you created this. It's important. That's what you think. But in the eyes of your audience, too many details is too confusing. Don't say everything. It's impossible. In 3 minutes, you will not be able to do this. And also, there's some faith, something that you can't quite control. Maybe it's not a good match between you and the investor. Or it's not the right time. Maybe the right time will come in a few months or years, maybe. It doesn't mean the idea is bad. It's just, it's not in the right time. So let's say you have met your investor, you have your chance. How do you think? What is he actually interested in? Give me some answers in a chat box. What actually interests the investor? What is he actually interested in? How do you think? Write it down. What interests the investor? Sales, themselves. Yeah, everyone is interested in themselves. That's true. But in the context of pitching, profit, yes. Revenue, of course. The customers, could be. Personal benefit income, also, yes. What else do you think interests the investor? Give me some answers, please. What else? The team, popcorn. What is there for me? Good. Personal preference, long-term income. You are all correct. I would like to point out something in a perfect world where we're pitching to big companies, to big people, and we're talking about big numbers and big possibilities. The investor is not interested in your product. He has only one focus. He wants to know, what problems are you solving? What's the amount of the problems? He wants to be part of solving big problems. Your product is not something mainly they are focusing on. They want to see problems being solved. If you can solve big problem, it means big impact. And the investors want to see them impacting the world. Just as Simon Sinek, you know, this wonderful teacher, he's an inspiring public talker, public speaker. And he has this theory of start with why. I believe all of you know this. If not, please go check him out. Simon Sinek, start with why. This is a golden circle, which means always start with why. What is the problem? How big is the problem? Why do your solution exists? Why do you have this product? Why do you have this service? Start with why. Only then comes a question, how do you solve the problem? How is your product functioning? And only thirdly, only in the third phase of your presentation, you go into what is your actual product? What's the name of it? What's the color? How many variations do you have of it? But it's only third part. First one, the first thing your investor wants to know is, why are you doing this? So this is a structure today we're going to work on. You will have quite a lot of screenshots to take. This is a pitch structure for you today. I would suggest you go this way, but of course you are free to do however you want. I'm just giving you out there something that has been tested and that works. What is important? That you have all these 7 points in your pitch. You start with the announcement and you end with the same idea, with the same thought in a tagline. It's connected. It's like connecting the dots. You're going a circular composition. You start with announcement and you end with the same thought as a conclusion. Number 1 and number 7 are the most important parts of your pitch, because the last thing you say is the first thing your audience will remember. Work on the first and the last part the most. What's in the middle is important, of course, but it's not that important as the first part, where you grab your audience attention like a hook. And the last one, where you summarize the speech, where you put everything together, where you put it in a short sentence and you say your summary. Also, that is just as important as the way you opened your pitch. But now let's go through every single point together. At the end of my lecture, you will work in your groups in breaking rooms, and you will do this draft all together. So let's go through every single point so we are on the same page. Now, let's start with a simple statement. How will you improve the world? This is the why. This is the why. For whom are you solving a problem? What is the value of you solving that problem? This is not the part where you describe the product. This is not the part where you name it. This is the part where you give me a statement, announcement. Okay? For example, you can use this golden sentence. Product X that helps concrete customer to solve what? A problem. Maybe it's one problem, maybe it's 2 problems, maybe it's 3, but they have to be concrete. Okay? So a product that helps customer to solve what? By getting what? What is the benefit that you are solving? So benefit number 1 is this, benefit number 2 is that, and thirdly, our customer gets this benefit, okay? And here is the part where you describe what weapon are you using, what technique, what method, what is your secret thing that you can use and help them get the result. Okay, so my product that helps a customer to solve this problem, to get this benefit, we're using our secret thing, our secret approach. This statement is 1 till 2 sentences. Okay, so since we have opened our pitch, we have intrigued everyone. Everyone is hooked. Everyone is like, oh, tell me more. I want to know more. Now is the time where you describe the problem. How big is it? What impact it has on other areas? How potentially it can grow? How will it affect other areas of life? How will it affect me? Because we all are thinking about ourselves, right? What will happen if we don't solve this problem as a society? What could be the damage if we leave this problem unsolved? This is where you can become really dramatic if it's validated, if it's true. Tell me the reality. I want to know that this is actual problem that we all should work on. How does the problem result? Okay, if we don't do anything about it, what will happen? In what time? In what region? In country, maybe even. Okay, and this is the part where you also describe how big is the number of potential buyers. What's the target customer? How big is the market? Is it potentially growing? In what time will you reach bigger amount of potential buyers? If you have some research about it, it's perfect. Show it there. This is the part where you can expand your speech to 5 sentences already. So expand. Now, third part. Describe the product. Only now you describe the product. You don't do it earlier. I know it's tempting. You want everyone to know how detailed, how well thought of your product is, but it has a perfect place and it's only in the third part of your pitch. Third part is where you show it. You have some videos, show them. You have some prototype to show, do it. Because as you know, once you see something, it speaks much louder than just blah, 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 right? Once you see something, it's like 1,000 words. You have some visuals, maybe you have something to show. Do it here, describe it. How can you validate the product? Because everyone wants to know, okay, but where this money will go. We want to see some numbers. We want to see facts. This is the serious part. Number 4, validation. If you have your idea only in the head and you don't have anything to show, at least show some numbers. Show that you have done a research. You have some people who you have already interviewed. Maybe you have had a test audience. Maybe they have given a feedback already. You have some statistics. Maybe you have a progress already. Maybe someone has already bought your product or your service and they have given you some feedback already. Measurable result is something that the investor wants to see. If you have had your pilot project or a minimum viability product, what was the results? Validate. If you have your unique selling point, this is the part where you say it. Among all the other products that are out there, this one is different because you show it to me. You tell it to me in this part. And take into consideration that your audience will definitely have some objections. 100%, they will have some objections. And you, as a communication master, have to know what could be the objections. And you point them out here. For example, you can say, now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're probably thinking this idea will not work. We know, that's why we have this. We have managed this. We have tested this, okay? You know, like you give everything in advance. If you know they are going to say, this will not work for that specific thing, you have to be like, you are right. That's why we have prepared this solution. We have done this so we can validate. This is 5 till 6 sentences, the validation part. Okay, now is the time where you shine. Of course, behind every wonderful and brilliant idea, there's actually people who has had this idea. Show your team. Who are you guys? How good are you? How good are you with each other? The investor wants to see that this idea will live. He wants to see that this idea will actually become live. And it will become alive only if the teammates are right for each other. Because the main reason why startups die, do you know what's the main reason? Because people among the team had some personal miscommunication barriers. They didn't work with each other well. They had some arguments, they had some things they didn't agree with, just people stuff. And that's the reason why money is wasted, because the team members were not a good fit for each other. This is the part where you have to prove we are perfect for each other because we have our skills, our experience together matching as a perfect match. Maybe you have some mentors, maybe you have some advisors who helps you. You put them in your team. They are all a part of your project. That's why the project will work, because you have your best people in the team. Now we are almost at the end. The main mistake for pitching is when people forget that there's a call to action. Yeah. The main reason why pitches don't work is because people forget to ask for something, to ask for some action to happen. This is the part where you ask precisely, what do you want? What do you need? You need specific amount of money. Ask for it. How much do you need? How will you use it? How will this specific amount of money or resources help you reach a certain milestone? How will this money help you? Put it out there and say, for example, we are asking for a 5K to invest in our specialists so we can develop the product in this Riga region, for example. This will show, this is how we will gain our goal, 3,000 users until the end of year 2024, for example. Okay, so there's this specific thing you want to use in a specific way. How will this money help you to reach the milestone? Be specific and ask for what you need. Maybe you need consultations. Maybe you need some materials. Maybe you're asking for advice. Ask. Be precise. And we are at the end of our pitch, and it's short. It's very short. You summarize everything you said. You have to put it in one sentence. If you don't remember of my speech anything, I want you to remember this one thing. This is a magic sentence. The Masters of Communication uses this a lot. If you don't remember anything from my pitch, please remember this one thought, or one sentence, or one number, or one picture, something, okay? Give me something specific, or a slogan, or announcement. Again, repeat it. And we end our pitch with, let's go to questions. Thank you. It's a good manner to call out, now I have finished. Thank you for your attention. Let's go to questions. Now, this is the part where you have finished your pitch. And of course, it's a huge relief. The job is over, but it doesn't mean the stress is over, right? So if you're under the influence of stress, your mind is a little bit blurred. Now the microphones, please, microphones. Thank you very much. So your mind is a little bit blurred and you are maybe not in your right place. Before you answer to any question, make sure you listened, because we know our product so well that we know all the answers by heart. But sometimes the investor actually maybe ask something else, and you were just so structured and you know all the answers that you just the answer goes, but you didn't listen. He had a different question. If only you have given yourself time to hear. So listen to the question, zip it, pause, think, give yourself 2 seconds, and then you give the answer. Because the worst you could do is just say something and it's wrong, you have lost time, and everyone is frustrated, and it just doesn't work. You can really ruin your presentation if you mix this part. Take your time is the best advice I can give you in the Q&A session. Also, be prepared for the questions you don't want to receive, because of course you don't know the answers to every question. Be honest, but if you have some time to prepare, you have to know which questions you could receive but you don't quite want to answer. Prepare those answers as well, because it's better to prepare them than stand in front of your investor and be like, we didn't quite had time for this. Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. So be prepared, or be prepared to fail, right? And the last thing, maybe this person in front of you will have different opinion. Maybe they have different values. Maybe they think differently than you. And they will say, I don't think this idea will work. In your heart, maybe you will feel like, oh, this is really insulting. And you might feel like going for a confrontation, like arguing. Please don't do it. Please don't challenge your reputation. Be respectful and respect. They have their opinion, you have your opinion, and it's okay. Be respectful, be calm, be professional. Okay? Right. If you didn't get anything from my lecture today, I want you to get this. This is the most important screenshot you're going to take from this lecture. Please save it in your computer, and everything I want you to know is in this one slide. When you will work now in groups, and when you will work on your pitch draft, this is the structure I want you to prepare. You have 3 minutes. You have everything short. Only the distillated information will be heard, okay? So opening phrase, 1 sentence. Summary, 1 sentence. And everything in between is in the way you want it to be. And at the end, you're going to say, time for questions, or let's have a Q&A session now. Thank you. And once you say thank you, it means you are ready for applause. I have finished, and zip it, you say nothing. This is your 3 minutes. So before we go into groups and we start actually doing this, there's this one thing I want you to see. For example, if we would be working live, you would be working on post-it pages, on post-it notes. You will put your ideas vertically, 7 points, simple. For example, simple statement, problem, product, validation, the team, the investment you're asking. You would put it vertically, and then you would brainstorm with post-it cards right horizontally for every part. This is what we would do if we would meet live. But as we are working online, you're going to do this on your own. You have brainstorm, which means where you have, for example, 5 sentences, you have to have 5 post-it pages at least, so you can take something out if it's not good. This is your draft. Now, before we divide you guys in the groups, I will come to every group. I will make sure you guys know the task. You will work together. I want you to do it like this. If you are 3 people, you have to divide. Okay, John, you're working on second part and the 5th part. Anna. You are working on investment ask, and you will work on a short summary. Okay. And for example, Pavan, you will work on a problem description. And once you have divided which one does which part, you take your time, for example, 10 minutes, and then you come together and you put the puzzle together. Everyone has to participate. It's not like one person does all the pitch. You have to divide. Okay, you know about the product the best. You put the sentences for the product. You know how to open it up. You will be the speaker. You will do the simple statement part. And then you will put it together. Okay. Is that clear? I want to see in the section bar thumbs up if the task is understandable. Jason, thank you very much. Lena, thank you. How about the others? I want to see thumbs up if it's understandable. Thumbs down if you don't know, if you didn't quite catch this. Give me a thumbs down if you haven't understood the task. I want to see reactions because this is a work we're going to do together. Okay, it seems those who understood, those understood. Now, before we, okay, Pavan, you, of course, we will return. We will return to the task. I want you to know that these are the points your jury will look at. Your jury wants to know whether your startup idea is impactful. The jury wants to see the business model. Do you have it? Have you improved it? If your idea is innovative, that's good. If you know your market size, perfect. You have prepared the presentation, wonderful. And also they want to see that you will actually be able to realize your idea. This is what the jury will look at. And this is your homework. This is your homework. I want you to write it down. So we will meet on the May 22. You have 2 weeks to do this task. We will test every team's pitch. And you have to send the homework. You have to send the prepared presentation file until 2 p.m. on 21st. On 21st of May, you have to send us your presentation file. And you have to know your pitch for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It has to be prepared a little bit shortly, because once you're prepared for 3 minutes, you will maybe lose your track of time, because once we're speaking publicly live, once we're on the stage, we lose a track of time. So it's safer to prepare your speech only for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So you have time. Right. Now, Pavan had a question how to do this. I will explain once more. Please, everyone listen, because now we will divide you in groups. You will work among your teammates. So, for example, in your team, you have 5 people. 5 people. You have to give every person a task. For example, Liene, you will work on opening phrase. Give me some ideas for opening phrase. Jason, I want you to work on a product description. 5 sentences, prepare product description. Okay, now, Alesh, you will work on team description, okay? You will work on describing how perfect are we for each other. So everyone has their task. You work on it individually, and then you put it all together. So you have a pitch talk ready. So everyone is involved. It's not like one person does the job. Is it clear now? Please, thumbs up if it's clear. Thumbs up if it's clear. Good. All right.
John had a question.
Please. Liana, what's the question?
No, Jason had a question.
Oh yeah, please. Please, Jason, what's your question?
So I am a group basically all by myself, and I assume that the room that I'm assigned to, everybody else, I don't know what their group is. So like, how am I then just tagging on with somebody else's idea?
No,
or
no,
are
no.
we
If
each
you
individually coming up with our own pitch for our own ideas in this group session?
correct, Jason, you are a representative of your idea, of your group. You are doing it solo.